My main concerns about this new ordinance for short-term rentals is the limitation for short-term rentals to one of every 500 feet. So that means that if someone else already has an Airbnb and you want to start your Airbnb, then that means that you can't do this. And I don't think that's fair for all of us. Now, also the limit of short-term rentals in a multifamily to 1 in 10 apartments. That means that if you are doing a rental arbitrage or you're trying to rent to do the Airbnb, then you wouldn't be able to do so if someone else is already doing Airbnb. The limitation of the location of the short-term rental to certain zones. So right now we do not know what zones they're talking about, but we can have an idea that the zones that are going to be limited are going to be mainly for the historic district and the downtown district. The increase of the occupancy taxes from just paying the state occupancy tax of 6.25% to now paying an entire of 17.5%. So there's a difference of about 11.25% that we will be paying extra. And it's just, we're being held to the same occupancy taxes as hotels, but we're not giving the same benefits as hotels. Now we also need to get this permit that it's going to cost about $300 per year per listing. Whereas, for example, San Antonio, they only have a permit of $100 every 3 years per listing. Now, compared to a bigger city, El Paso, we don't have the population and we don't have the tourism. So we don't really think that it should be um, this high permit. And another thing is that, they're making the exterior of Airbnbs illegal. So that means that if you are doing the glamping and just trying to start doing unique spaces in your backyard or a tree house or an RV, that means that you wouldn't be able to have an Airbnb because the permit would be denied. All promotion that you want to do for your Airbnb on social media or anywhere must include also a permit number. And I mean, I've never seen anyone had to be adding this permit number, or even as a business owner, when you're trying to do some sort of flyers, you don't have to put your tax ID in there. You don't have to do all of those things. So it's going to make it really hard for us to promote our Airbnbs, and I think it's just unnecessary. All short-term rentals must also have a parking spot. And free street parking, it's not valid. So that's a big thing because a lot of the historic districts and a lot of the downtown districts, they do not count with any sort of parking. And the city's fine with this, but now because of this ordinance, that would mean that you wouldn't be able to get your Airbnb permit if you do not have parking spot. Now, the permits will require site plans, evacuation routes, occupancy notices, cleaning requirements, trash notices, post quiet hours, all of the information. It's very excessive, and especially about the site plans. We don't know what kind of requirements they're gonna need. For example, how much it's gonna cost. Does it need an engineering stamp, an architectural stamp? Like, what is it that it's really gonna cost for you to get drawn up some site plans? Because that's just going to be very hard for someone that's barely starting and trying to do this Airbnb and having to do all of this extra work plus paying all of these permits on top of everything. It's going to be really hard for them to start. And the main thing is that the families here that are doing Airbnb, they're using this income as supplemental income. A lot of the people that are doing Airbnb, they're retirees, they're soldiers, they're families that really need this supplemental income to continue living their livelihood, to continue paying their property taxes, their mortgage, their kids' college, anything that they need. So, it's very important that you guys understand that this isn't about big corporations. We're not a big corporation. We're small business owners, we're local owners, and we really need your support because this is going to affect all of us. And all the people that are doing Airbnb, they probably have maybe one or two locations, But the thing is that they really depend on this income to continue surviving here in El Paso.